TitleMatchNetwork.com.
At that time in '96, did they have writers outside of Bruce and Vince?
Well, the first time I ever heard of that was this. Do you guys remember when Steve Austin, of course, was starting to get the big push? He was starting the Stone Cold character.
Yes.
And Brett to come back. Whatever deal they worked out, Brett didn't go to Atlanta then. Brett wanted to work Steve Austin. He said that was the final straw. He wanted to work his first, program back with Steve Austin. He wanted to work he handpicked Steve.
Sure.
As soon as he did that, Steve was instantly over. You know what I mean?
Right.
I worked with Steve on the Superstars taping, and the night before is when he started his thing live Raw. We're talking about Brett. Brett coming back. Brett was so over back then. And oh God, he was. And
He's come back.
and he had instant heat. You know what I mean? So the next night I'm on the Superstars taping, working with Steve. He did a short little interview talking about Brett, and you're like, whoa, this is going. The sound when you're out there, you're out there in the sound of the people. It's like, wow, it bring you chills. And Steve had the heat. And he could work his ass off. And we had a competitive match. Steve was great. People don't realize Steve Austin was one of the best heels ever in the business.
Right.
He was.
And you knew him when he was still.
Yeah, I worked with him.
Austin.
Yeah.
What were some of your first impressions of Steve Austin back?
I didn't ever meet him. I seen him on Dallas's TV. Chris Adams trained him. I knew Chris. And I seen him on Tennessee's TV. And I can remember, a lot of guys would tell Grizzly Smith, tell the WCW office, you need to get this guy, Steve Austin.
Didn't you work with him briefly in WCW?
Yeah, I worked with him a few times in WCW.
Well, what were your impressions of him as a worker?
Great. He better be in shape. He'd work his ass off.
Did you think,
better be ready to go.
Everybody always likes to say, oh, I knew this guy was going to be a star.
He did a lot of,
Did you think so?
Everybody would tell you he was the best heel, one of the best workers in the dressing room.
But obviously management never saw that.
Well, they put it there. Well, they had him on that Dangerous Alliance thing. Rick Rude.
Right.
Rick Rude helped Steve a lot.
Larry
Zbyszko, Arn, and Bobby Eaton. Exactly, Bobby Eaton. He'd be in a lot of tags with Bobby Eaton, or they do 8-man, 6-mans, and they pushed them all good then. And everybody knew Steve was the young guy that was the next guy, And then I guess after I was gone is when they put him with Brian Pillman,
Back to WWF.
But you knew Steve had it,
At the time, WCW's business was better.
The ratings were better. They didn't do house shows then. You see what I mean? They didn't, and a lot of them were giveaways. You saw me. Vince is still doing merchandise out crazy. Vince is still doing tours. Vince is still doing 2 house shows a night.
Sure.
Maybe it was 1. They weren't doing the SmackDown Raw.
But in a lot of ways, the ratings were all that mattered at that time. And you said that you could see Vince, you could see it in his eyes.
Oh yeah, he was burning to beat him. Oh yeah, and they never really beat him until they did that with Tyson when Austin got hot. We get ready for Shawn and Tyson.
14, the next night after was when they beat him in the ratings.
They were climbing though. They were climbing before that. They were climbing. Yeah.
But was there ever
when Austin got hot and the Rock started getting pushed? That's when you saw it. Yeah, man. Yeah.
Were there ever times where they would call a talent meeting, I guess, at WWF shows where Vince or somebody right below Vince would kind of address you guys like, hey, we need to step it up.
No,
this is enough.
I never saw that. I ain't saying they haven't since then. We're talking, this is 1996. So, I never saw it, but you see Vince look at that monitor board, and Bruce was always the gorilla position.
Sure, Vince.
And Vince was commentating, then.
Oh, true, sometimes Vince.
And he didn't commentate. He commentated on him and Lawler and Jim Ross. And he didn't commentate Superstars. That's where I could always remember seeing him. He was sitting down on the monitor looking like burning, man. Real competitive.
When you're in Gorilla getting ready to go out at WWF, does Vince ever take his headset off and give you like a little pep talk before you go through the curtain?
Well, a lot of times I was on Superstar or Raw, and if Vince would be at a monitor in his own dressing room watching Linda be in her own dressing room
wasn't he
watching
usually at Gorilla?
You'd see him walking around. No, you didn't see him much at Gorilla.
Now he's at Gorilla.
Except for, don't get me with top guys. You know what I mean? top angles, top guys. That's what I,
Did you feel like
he was hands-on.
Of course. Did you feel like you were given an opportunity to carry the ball in WWF? Or?
No, I mean, my groin, I'd ripped it so bad, I wasn't 100%. I really wasn't. Sean didn't like us because we worked for Jimmy and we were called Smoky Mountain guys. Undertaker didn't like us. And, Brett was cool with it, but Brett always stayed to himself. And Sean and Undertaker didn't. And I knew Undertaker and Sean since it started, but they didn't like us. And, we were brought in to get them over, and that was our job and do. And,
but did you feel like you could have done more?
I could have helped him more as a heel. I know that. I know I could have helped him more as a heel. But I mean, I couldn't. Honestly, I just couldn't. Toward the end, my groin was getting better, but I wasn't bad in a good way. But I'd have some good house show matches with the Headbangers, guys, and get some tags with those guys, and some house show matches with Tony, Barry Horowitz. Barry Horowitz is great. That didn't seem to, how it didn't, Sean. He just didn't like me. He didn't.
Well, you had to get with Sean going back
over the Armstrongs some years ago, and I don't know. I don't want to blame. I ain't putting no blame on anybody. But politics and everything, and it didn't help. I mean, I sit there. I remember before I went out, and they played that banjo music, and I got on these damn green armbands, and I got on green boots, and I got on green tights, and I heard that damn music, and I just wanted to go. I want to go, Bruce. I worked 15 years to get here, man. This is 1996. I've been in business 15 years already. I said, can we just restart this and rewind? That's what I wanted to say. At first I heard that banjo, I was just like, oh my God. And I didn't mean to do that, and I did it kind of in front of them. And I didn't mean to do that. And anything there, they're like vampires. They're all over you.
So
he don't like his gimmick. He doesn't respect the Briscoes. Come on, man.
So so there was an actual moment where
I just like when I heard that banjo music, I couldn't help it. I'm stretching. I'm hurt. I'm not 100%. My groin,
Who sees you?
And Bruce Pritchard.
Bruce Pritchard.
And
Is
Kevin
this in
Kelly.
Gola?
Yeah. I'm sitting there, I heard that music, I went, oh my God. I did that. I just turned around. I just started laughing, man. I couldn't help it. And I went, oh my God, oh Lord, can we just start over? I'm looking at this, I'm doing this. I couldn't help it. I just tell you, and that got a lot of heat.
Yeah.
That got me heat. And I didn't mean to, but then they interpreted it to that I didn't have respect, for the Briscoes. I mean, come on.
Did that lead to your release?
No, that was my first day. Working my first day in the ring. The pay-per-view I didn't work. The Raw I didn't get to work. It was 4 tapes. My first match in the ring, I heard that banjo music, and I didn't mean to do that.
So you inadvertently fucked yourself.
I was screwed.
Did anybody?
But of course I respect Jack Briscoe, Jerry Briscoe. Jack Briscoe is one of the reasons I got in this business. Lou Thez, Bob Armstrong.
Did anybody pull you aside and say, "Look, man, if
I didn't know what I just started laughing. I went, "Oh God!" Like that, and you don't do that. It's took wrong. Everything you say, you got to watch what you say. It's took wrong.
Did somebody pull you aside and say, "Look, if you don't want to do this,
no,
take a hike"?
No. I just went with it.
Sure.
No.
Wow.
But I didn't do that. I didn't mean to. You know what I mean? I didn't mean to, man. And I wasn't dogging or that. I just thought, oh God, I couldn't help it.
You said Bret Hart was.
Yeah, he was cool. Good dude.
I mean, did you have any? I don't know, any kind of relationship with him?
Yeah, he was cool to everybody. Bret Hart dressed with the boys. He was cool. He was always late. He'd come in 5 o'clock, 4 o'clock.
Really?
I didn't mess with him.
Would he give you any kind of?
He told me Ron Simmons and I had a single match on TV when it was Farouk, and had a good competitive match. And I'd worked with Ron in Atlanta, and he goes, yeah. And I was eating with Candido, and he come in the restaurant and sit down with us, and he says, hey, I saw your match, and this is what he said. He said, I saw your match with the black guy. And I don't think he knew Ron. He had not been to TV yet, and I don't think he ever met Ron. And he didn't know. He knew Ron, but they called him Farouk.
Sure.
And then I can remember him saying, Farouk goes, yeah. He goes, he's the football player, like that. It wasn't dissing him. It wasn't dissing him.
Right.
He said, I saw your match. You had a good match with the black guy. That's what he said. So, cool, man. Thanks.
How about Steve Austin at the time? Could you see like a hunger in him?
Oh, yeah. I mean, Steve was great, man. And as soon as Brett handpicked him to work with him coming back, and that got Steve instantly over, and he was great anyway. And they did a lot of matches, house show, or dark matches at TVs with Sean and Steve. Tore the house down. Yeah. Way before that ever happened. You know?
Undertaker, any interactions with him?
I mean, he didn't like Smoky Mountain.
You said
yeah, when he was saying cloudy, when he's because some guys will do anything to get in the business with the body Donis thing, and I was just joking, man, and I just said, yeah, how long you been dead now? Because I knew him since he started, and he goes, he jumped up, I've been dead 6 years. I'm like, whoa, man, oh, relax. I broke down. I thought, this big motherfucker coming after me, man. I said, it's me, Tracy. All right? He had that cold look in his eyes, and he didn't laugh, and I was screwed. I've been here 2 hours. I didn't mean it. I was just joking. But you couldn't rib. Before, when you knew them, you could rib with them. Then you couldn't.
Yeah, they kind of eclipsed you. So
and we had heat because they all hated Cornette, Jimmy. You're guilty by association.
Yeah, that happens a lot in wrestling.
Because Jimmy had a lot of power then. You know?
Any other big names that you had any memorable interactions with at the time in WWF?
Jake didn't really. I knew Jake for a long time. I kind of had heat with Jake for a while until Cornette kind of fell out. He was an agent, and he was working too.
Snake?
He was an agent.
Well, he was doing the Born Again gimmick at the time.
Yeah. And a loop. I was on the loop when he just disappeared. Never saw him again.
He disappeared like.
He took the Godwin's rent a car and never came back. Nobody ever saw him. I mean, I was on the loop.
Literally?
Yeah. I think it was in Louisiana somewhere.
Had he been?
I think it was New Orleans.
Had he been portraying himself as clean back then?
He was doing good. He did. I don't know what happened. I mean,
he
was doing
basically fell off the wagon and fell hard.
Yeah. And I'm glad he's doing great now.
Yeah.
And yeah, I had to eat with Jake.
Was there like a?
He wasn't cool to me. I'll tell you one thing he said that pissed me off, and I let him know that. Yeah. I was working a tag. They'd split Bart and Billy up. Bart Gunn and Billy Gunn. They'd split them up, and White Boy and Billy were working against Bart and myself.
Yeah, C.L. Hopper he was at the time. I watched that match this morning.
Yeah. Well, we're sitting there, and, come up, get her finished, and all. And I'm just sitting there, and Jake goes. And Tony and Jake had known each other, and I know Jake for a long time. He'd always been cool to me, and he wasn't being cool to me during this. And I know the situation. I mean, he had to hate me because Sean didn't like me and Undertaker didn't like me. If you don't hate them too, then you're screwed and whatever. It's like was said, Undertaker laughs, everybody laughs. You know what I mean? That's pretty much it. Anyway, we're sitting there and sit down, and Jake goes. He goes, first of all, he looks at Tony and I, and he goes, the match, the angle, the storyline, the program, whatever you want to fucking call it, is between these two guys. He said, you two guys.
Billy and Bart.
Yeah, Billy and Bart. Yeah. He said, because they were doing the pay-per-view with them.
Right.
He said, you two guys shouldn't even be here. That's exactly what he said. He said, and you obviously suck somebody or jerk somebody off to get here. I've been called a lot of things in this world, but a queer ain't one of them. And I just sit there, and I'd about had enough of him, man. And to tell you the truth, God bless him, I love him to death. I wanted to fucking beat the fuck out of him right there.
Watch thousands of exclusive shoot interviews right now on TitleMatchNetwork.com.